Hi everyone. First, excuse my voice. I literally just got back from the dentist, so half of my face is numb. But one of my subscribers sent me this story that they wanted me to share, and the reason why I agreed to share it is because it is just another example of white on white crime. And also, just to show you the total disregard to life in general that a majority of white people have. So here is a 14-year-old girl that was shot in the head by two other teenagers. And let me tell you, so let me just go through it right here. This is the article. And we notice that something's missing here, right? What we notice is you don't see the two teenage boys. You don't see a picture of them, which tells you that they are Caucasian. If they were not, you would see huge pictures. It would say black or thug or something like that to indicate to you that these individuals are black. But you don't see that, so that tells you something really big. That tells you that these people, these monsters, are actually the same race as she is. So let's go through this ad. It says, Utah 14-year-old girl shot in the head for $55 and an iPod. A teenage girl found shot in the back of the head in the U.S. state of Utah was targeted for her valuables and a $55 in cash, authorities said. Desiree Turner, 14, was discovered clinging to her life in a dry kennel last Friday by friends of her family after a 6-hour search of Smithfield. Two 16-year-old boys. Right there, it would say black boys or thugs, but it doesn't. So we know right here that these are white boys. Oh, excuse me, it's hard to talk. Two 16-year-old boys were arrested over the weekend and have been charged with the attempted murder. One of these teens allegedly told the police the crime was motivated by greed. Oh, I know Skyview High. Police say the two teens told police, police say the two teens who had not been identified lured Desiree to a dry kennel bed near the Skyview High School in Smithfield under the gaze of selling her a knife. It's interesting that, what does she want to buy a knife for? That's interesting. Not to say that she deserves to be murdered because she's going to buy a knife. No one deserves to be murdered like that. No 14-year-old deserves to be killed like that. But the thing is, we have people that have a total disregard for life. They don't care who they're killing. And that's the thing that we need to realize, that it's not about killing. It's not that they will just kill you because you're black, or they just don't like you because you're black and that's why they're killing you. There's something in their DNA, that something in their genetic makeup that makes them have no empathy, and makes them have where they get a thrill and a sense of passion and happiness out of killing other people. It's just, and then there's a total disregard. It's just like, she's just a piece of trash. It doesn't matter. Her value was less than an iPad or iPod, which is, a little small music player. So they lured her there, saying that they were gonna, sell her a knife, but instead the boys had planned to kill her and take her money, iPad, and mobile phone, according to the charges. The 9th grader is in in a medically induced coma in Salt Lake City area hospital, and is in the fight for her life, a family spokesman said. If any of you have been to Salt Lake City, it's super religious, it's eerie, it's gross, it's drug ridden, very racist, very racist. The first time I went there, I was driving in a car and I had a group of white people scream, "Why are you niggers in our neighborhood?" So yeah, it's not a place that is a very friendly place. Even though they're supposed to be uber religious, you know, there's full of Mormons. They're supposed to be God-fearing and worship God and all that religious bull crap, and it's fake. It's nothing. Anyways, in a prepared statement, the family wrote, "We know that our Father in heaven is watching over her, and all of us have been touched by her. We know that he hears and answers our prayers, and we can see his hands at work as Desiree continues to make progress." Desiree was found early Friday morning by friends who had tracked her location using her mobile phone information, which authorities provided. The case was unnerved. The case has unnerved the small community. This has kind of shaken up the citizens, Chief of Police Travis Allen told reporters after the charges were revealed. "We haven't seen things like this before." He said many of the girls' possessions were found with the two boys. Police were advised that the original plan was to murder the girl using knives, Ketchikan County Attorney James Swansk wrote in charging documents. But one of the teens also carried a .22 caliber revolver as a secondary weapon if the original plan failed, Mr. Swank's charges. After the boys were arrested, the alleged gunman told them where to find the gun and the shell casings, which the other boy had taken to keep as mementos. See, that's that. When I say they're psychopaths, this is something that a psychopath would do. Take something to, you know, to remember his kill by. That's why you see these monsters with animal heads hanging on their walls, you know, as mementos, so they can fantasize about their kill. They would have human heads. And people have. They have literally found, you know, body parts on some of these psychopathic killers that they will keep as mementos. So just taking the shell casings is nothing. He also penned a letter to the girl. He also penned a letter to the girl's family in which he wrote that he is so sorry, authorities say. The police later found the shells displayed on the boy's windowsill. Investigators also say they found shoe prints in the soil that matched the Nikes and Vans sneakers worn by the boys. I haven't seen anything like this case in the 18 years I've worked in Ketchikan County, the prosecutor said at a News Tuesday conference. So I haven't seen this story anywhere else. I should look for it, but you know that these are two white psychopath killers. You know it because there's no pictures of them. You know it because they don't mention their race. You know it because this is how white supremacy protects its members. If they were black, they would be thugs. They would tell you every little bad thing that they've ever done, but nothing. It's disgusting. And the reason why we share stuff like this is because we really need you to see. This isn't in our news. This was not posted all over the news here. So I'm going to try to look for this. I'm going to Google this and see if there's some more information on this case, because I find it really sickening. This is an article from Canada. So let's see if we can find the pictures of these monsters. Let's see what this one says. Okay, so this is Fox News, Fox 6 News. Fox News, they're, you know they're racist. So let's see if we can find some more. It might be a video coming up. It looks like there's a video. So let's see if we can play it.
There are new details in the shooting of a 14-year-old Smithfield girl. Court documents indicate the two...
Sorry, I'm trying to make this bigger so you guys can see it.
16-year-old...
Maybe I made it too big and now it's not wanting to load. So you guys just kind of work with me on this one. Okay, well, it's gonna have to be right there. And the funny thing is, they're not telling you what they're charging these monsters with. No, I.
Suspects lured Desiree Turner into a canal to try to sell her a knife. The court documents say, quote, the suspect told police they were able to get the victim to meet them at the canal under the guise of selling her a knife. Police were advised that the original plan was to murder the victim using knives. The suspect advised police he had brought a .22 caliber revolver as a secondary weapon to be used against the victim if the original plan failed. Desiree was found in a ditch early last Friday with a gunshot wound to her head. She remains in critical condition. It's unclear whether the two suspects will be charged as adults. They are due back in court next week for a detention hearing.
They still don't show you who these kids are, which tells you that they are white. Let's see what News 13, if we can hear what they have to say. Maybe they'll show these monsters.
Today marks 5 days since Desiree Turner was found here in this canal. Those who know and love the Turner family tell me this is an absolute tragedy and they're heartbroken as she continues to fight for her life. Now, police have been working around the clock trying to piece everything together, and today they're telling us what they can.
We're in a situation where we're not going to be able to share a lot.
Here's what detectives can share. Desiree didn't come home after school Thursday, so police started a search. Then at 1 a.m. Friday, Desiree was found alone in a ditch, semi-unconscious with a gunshot to her head.
I haven't seen anything like this case in the 18 years that I've worked for Cache County.
Hundreds of hours of man work led investigators to two teens.
Two 16-year-old males were identified as significant people of interest.
Yeah, no, they didn't say black
Investigators
males
have
or
served multiple
Hispanic
search
males.
warrants and recovered key evidence.
Police aren't saying how or if Desiree knew the boys, who are now facing charges of attempted murder, aggravated robbery, and obstructing justice. And in the coming days, it will be decided if they'll be tried as adults. Meanwhile, Desiree...
And I'm wondering how they're not obstructing justice. They can't show you who they are. They just said boys. They didn't say Hispanic males. They didn't say black males. So that tells you that they are white. We really need to see how we are manipulated, how the psychology behind this white supremacist terrorism works, because they leave out stuff. If they're white, they don't want to say white. They don't want to call these monsters out. But if they were black, they would love to just flash you pictures of these children's mugshots. You know, you would be seeing them in handcuffs, and they would be all over the news. So you need to see what they're not showing you and think about what they're not showing you. It's disgusting, and I feel bad for the girl. You know, they shot her in the head and left her to die, and they're still protecting them. The fact that they're protecting them, they're protecting their identity, tells you that they are white. And this is white supremacy. If they didn't have black people to kill, they would kill each other. If they didn't have Mexicans and other races to discriminate against, to murder, to hang from trees, then they would just do it to each other. So that's why they have to keep you around, so they can do it to you instead.
Is in the hospital.
Desiree is currently in critical condition. She's in a medical-induced coma.
I'm sorry about this skipping, guys.
And she is in the fight of her life right now.
The family released a statement saying, in part, we know that our Father
This is the same thing I already read.
in heaven is watching over her. We know that he hears and answers prayers, and we can see his hand at work as Desiree continues to make progress.
I mean, chances are this girl's gonna die. She got shot in the head. She's in a coma. And that's just gonna be it. You know, you'll see these kids, probably these, I don't even want to call them kids. They're monsters for what they did. But the truth is, they're white monsters. If they were not white monsters, they would tell you what race they are. They would show you their picture. They would have so much to say about their personal life and their parents' personal lives. And they would post everybody on the board for you to, you know, throw stones at. But they want to protect these other little monsters. What we have to know, and what is really important for us to do, is really dissect the psychology of these white people, because I think it's really hard for us to categorize them and put them all in one lump sum, because we have empathy and we want to say, you know, not all of them are like this. Not all white people are monsters. Not all of them are racist. And that's fine and dandy. And, you know, what I say is, you know, I'm not saying that they're all like that. I'm saying that white supremacy is a system, and they are part of that system. So regardless of whether there's a couple of individuals that are not like that, if they're not like that, then they will be fighting the same battle. We will see them going hardcore to end white supremacy. If you don't see that, then it's just best to believe that they are the same as all the rest of them. They're part of a system, and the system has to be destroyed. And regardless of whether we want to empathize with them, I empathize with that child that just got shot in the head. I can empathize with her parents. But you know what? They're the same people that are the ones that did that to her. They're part of the same system. That same white supremacist system it's protecting the people that shot this girl in the head when they're protecting their identity. You'll see any other news, even with the little 14-year-old or maybe 17-year-old black kid that got shot in the chest while he was going to visit his little white supremacist girlfriend, and her father killed him. His picture's all over, but you don't see their pictures all over. They always protect white supremacists. White supremacy, the whole system is one. It's one thing. So we can't sit there and try to say, oh, well, let's go soft on this because we don't want to offend the 2 or 3 white people that are not bad. We can't do that. It's part of a system. It's like if you have, you know, if you have to get your leg amputated because it's poison and it's going to kill your entire body, you can't sit there and say, well, you know, my half of my third toe might not be bad, so let me keep it. Let me just keep the whole leg. No, you're going to die then. We don't have the we don't have the time or the ability to sit there and try to weed out the good ones, because majority of them are bad. Because if majority of white people were not white supremacists, then there would be no system, because there would be too many white people fighting the system. But there aren't, because majority of them are part of this system. They're all actually part of it, whether they choose to be or not, but majority of them are willing participants in white supremacist terrorism. And as long as that is the case, then we have to attack the entire system, and we have to bring down the entire system. And we don't have the luxury of picking and choosing a couple of them that we want to keep around, because when you have psychopath and sociopath people, they're nice to you, they will smile in your face, but they will be poisoning you. Okay, you have to realize that just because someone smiles in your face or you know, lets you cut in line or something like that does not mean that they're your friend. Just because they invite you in your house does not mean you're going to leave their house alive. And that's what we need to realize. We need to bring down the system. Stop picking and saying all white people aren't bad. No one's saying all white people are bad. I'm saying white supremacist terrorism is bad, and majority of white people are part of that system that keeps the system. They feed into the system. They benefit from the system, and they you know, they help this system to stay alive. And we need to kill the system. We need to break down the system, and the system includes everybody. So if there's some good ones, we'll see them riding hard with us. We'll see them breaking down the system of white supremacy. We will see them fighting to end this terrorism. If you don't see them, then you already know that they are part of the system. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this. I guess I can put the link to this in the description box in case you guys want to go back and read it. You pretty much got all the information you're going to get. None of these channels have showed who the murderers are. So that's white supremacy right there. Thank you guys for watching this. Please like, comment, subscribe. Also, if you guys can share these videos, the more we share them, the more we get this information out there to combat all the negative media publicity that they put out there on Black people. You can't turn on the news without them showing you something about a Black person or Chicago or something, while they hide stuff like this. Because white on white crime is an epidemic, okay? It's there, it's an everyday thing. While they're targeting and terrorizing Black people on a global basis, they will still kill and rape and murder each other. So that's just who they are. That's their mentality. That's in their DNA. And I don't think that they can change it. So it's not about hating white people. I don't hate white people. I really don't. There's not really anyone that I actually hate. But I do see a system of terrorism, of corruption, of murder, of genocide. And that system is white supremacy. So thank you.